Oh, it's time to grab your glasses, family. It's time for us to get started. I'm so excited. Sitting up here, Kid Magic Rock. Shots out. Here we go. Drink your water. Come on, drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Take your breath and drink your water. Take your breath. Take your breath, take your breath, take your breath, family. Remember the 5. Remember those pillars, family. That breath, the water, the culturally appropriate diet, the movement, and the rest. Oh my goodness. You get all those in, guess what? Guess what? Outside of accidents, you could live a long and healthy life. Not for eternity, because some of y'all want to be human cancers running around here. You know what I'm saying? Because the only cells that live eternally are cancer cells. We have to realize everything has an end and should have an end because it makes room for the next, right? Some of y'all want to block the next off. Y'all don't want the next to come. Y'all don't want the next to grow. And that's crazy to me. There's something wrong with that. But anyway, family, this is the Daily Spark. I am Brother Hatim, and I want to welcome you in. I'm going to ask you to like, subscribe, share, and comment even before you even get in and listen too deeply. But first off, I want to say great Kujichagulia to all of you. Man. And this is my fast day. And I know I breathed out like it's hard. It's not hard, but I woke up and my wife left some salmon in the fryer, in what they call it, the air fryer, man. I came down and I was like, shit. I start getting my lunch together for the day. I'm like, ooh, yeah, we got cabbage, I got some, and I take a little samples and I said, damn, it's Kujichagulia. But I'm still gonna take it because I could eat after I get done with my practice. The Tai Chi practice. Those that want to join us is tonight at 5. Unfortunately, somebody informed me that I'm going to have to talk to the Master Green about moving it to 6 p.m. again on Tuesdays. My fault on Kuji's and Ujamas. All right, I hear you, Tiandra. I hear you. Knock them out. Don't worry about it. All right, I'll knock them out. All right, for those that don't know, in Gye-nyame, when I'm speaking in a cultural framework and I use the days of the week improperly, I don't use the principle. I got to do 7 push-ups because no one will take your shit more serious than you, nor should they. Anna may agree. So, family, let's get into it. So, we are on Kujichagulia during the week of Ujamaa, I am sure. Yep, we're on Kujichagulia during the week of Ujamaa, family. So, giving a round of applause to all of the Ujamaa babies because this is your week. Taking a sip for y'all. Man, oh man. Right? And I'm sitting up here thinking like, damn, sis, I got Kuji days and I got Kuji weeks. Maybe it might be good because my body hasn't been acting right lately. I don't know, because I think I like yogurt drinks, right? So I would go and I get me a yogurt drink and my stomach been acting up. And I'm like, I didn't start until I started, I like experimenting with I like cheese. I've been experimenting with the whole milk, and my stomach been acting up. And I said, well, maybe I might need to take my Kuji week, my next Kuji week, and fast and see how I feel after that. Because if I was to fast every Kuji week, up into the great pause, that would be 7 weeks that I would be fasting over the year, plus the 21 days at the beginning of the year. So that's 3 weeks. That's 10 total weeks. Shit, that'll be like 70 days. I don't know. That could be a challenge, huh? Let me think about that. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. That might be a possibility for me. I'm saying it like that. That might be a possibility for me. Okay. All right. Now, all you other coochie babies, you get your own shit. You understand? I come up with this for me, right? And I don't, you got to get your own things, right? But anyway, so let's move forward with the conversation on this Kujichagulia day. The title for the day, I need to start doing a title. The title for the day is Kujichagulia, the shield of no and the command of yes. Kujichagulia, the shield of no and the command of yes. Yep. I'm coming back to it because your no is sufficient. Family, your no established the borders around your personal territory. And you don't have to feel guilty about saying your no. Right? But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. That's not what it's about today. But it's close. It's close. But anyway, because I've been, and just getting on this for a second because I'm already behind. Let me pause for a second and I need to turn off my alarm because I'm not gonna make it before 6:30, and y'all already know my alarms are unforgiving. They're gonna pop up regardless, so I'm cutting that off. But anyway, your no creates borders around your existence, borders around yourself, your person, because yourself don't really need borders. Those of you that are familiar with Gye-nyame, you got my CD where I talk about the self mastery and the self, and how it's a misnomer. But then it's the personality that you really have to protect, because the personality will burn itself out trying to be in service of others to make others feel comfortable. So you have to really, really put those shields up. That no is a shield. So learn how to use it. Now, hold on. That's in here. Now, let's move forward. So let me start off with, it's the proverb of the day. 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 Proverb of the day. The proverb for you today is: every open eye is not seeing, and every closed eye is not sleeping. This is given to us by the Chadian people, right? So family, tell me, what does it mean to you, right? Every open eye is not seeing, and every closed eye is not sleeping. Now, for me, this has a great meaning because you'll hear it I'll save it for my thing, but just we got to realize that things they are not always as they appear, right? Just because you see somebody's eyes closed doesn't mean they don't know what's going on. And just because somebody's eyes is directly on you does not mean that they are seeing you or what you are doing or what you represent, right? So a lot of times I think this one for me is more about perception. Our perceptions guide us, but sometimes our perceptions can be very wrong. Okay? So just think about it. Write in the comments what you think it means to you, right? The ancestral algorithm for the day. Now, hold on. The focus for the ancestral algorithm for Kujichagulia is overcoming external labels and the program of victimhood. All right? Focus is overcoming external labels and the program of victimhood. All right? Now, so we're going to have to eventually sit down and talk about that, because I don't want those of you who have friends that's going to listen to this content and try to turn around and use it against you. See, there you go, talking about that victimhood, and you always talking about slavery, and no, we're not talking about that, right? The negative program, the program of victimhood, is different than the actual position of, how can I put it? Because some people look at victimhood in a negative light, right? It's simply something that is. Now, for you to walk around and be ashamed of the fact that something happened to you, right? And for you to, I'm not going to claim that, right? And I'm not going to hold on to that, is for you to let the person that did the wrong to you off the hook without any repercussions, without any penalties. You understand what I'm saying? Now, there's a program that will keep you hidden and keep you hiding and keep you ashamed of where you are, right? That's the program we're trying to get rid of. We want to be able to be clear in who we are, but we also want to be clear about what happened to us, because we cannot continue letting people off the hook for the wrong shit that they do. You understand what I'm saying? Whether it's historically or whether it's in the present, right? Many of you are fighting off this label in your present life, and it's not serving you at all. You just proving that you a strong dummy. I'm just saying. All right, Anime said I was a little bit too harsh. But hopefully you're getting the point, right? Sometime you can't let some shit go. There has to be repair. There has to be repercussions. There have to be penalties, right? You can't just let everything just fly by you because you don't want to you don't want to speak about the reality. Some of us got shit going on in our families that we have to keep our mouth closed about. That is very unhealthy. Very unhealthy. But I'm gonna stop right there. Let's keep moving forward. So the focus is overcoming external labels. Of course, you know, Kujichagulia. We define, right? And a program of victimhood. Now, here is the algorithm for today. My yes is a command and my no is a shield. My yes is a command and my no is a shield. Say it. You got to say it with your chest. My yes. Okay. You hear him, Anime? Anime says she ain't heard y'all. My yes. Okay, there you go. You heard him, Simba. Simba heard y'all. Simba. My yes is a command. Come on now. And my no is a shield. My yes is a command. And my no is a shield. Now remember, family, because a lot of this stuff crosses in what we're saying. A nation is a stable, historically developed community of people with territory, economic life, distinctive culture, and language in common, right? In order for a nation to exist, it has to have territory. Territory has to have borders. I know a lot of us can't get with that shit. But if we're going to have a nation state has to have borders. You as a person, not as the self, but you as a person has to have borders, because we can become so dissolved into this thing called the self, into our spirituality, that we are of no earthly good. We're just taking up space. The person has a mission. The person has a purpose, specifically for them. You got it? The self is everything in all places at all times, right? The person that you are, the person that you are here acting as, has a specific reason for existence, right? And in order to protect that, you have to erect the borders around you. You have to have the power of your yes as well as the power of your no. We have to get out of the slavery mind state, right? We have to get out of the slavery mind state because we've been so used to making people feel comfortable that it has become part of our culture where we make people feel comfortable. We make people feel comfortable, right? We make people, want to be around us and shit like that. Sometimes we have to be that shield, right? If you look at the images that I got today, is a shield that's knocking shit away. All right. Now the loop for the day, and I couldn't get my AI to do it. I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 15. That's 8. That's over 120 some odd credits that I spent on trying to get it to just say this loop, right? The loop is based on unapologetic, right? The loop is based on unapologetic, right? And we are defining unapologetic as operating boldly in your cultural truth without seeking permission or validation. Unapologetic. Operating boldly in your cultural truth without seeking permission or validation. One more again. Unapologetic. Operating boldly in your cultural truth without seeking permission or validation. I am unapologetic because we are unapologetic, and we are unapologetic because I am unapologetic. I am unapologetic, right? Meaning I operate boldly in my cultural truth without seeking permission or validation. And because we are unapologetic, because we are operating boldly in our cultural truth without seeking permission or validation. Come on now, that's a powerful statement, man. Give me some lightning on that. Give me an explosion on that one. There we go. Let it blow it up. Let it roll around in your mind. I am unapologetic because we are unapologetic. And we are unapologetic. Guess why? Because I am unapologetic. And because I am unapologetic, we are unapologetic. And because we are unapologetic, I become more unapologetic. I become more rooted in operating from my cultural truth without seeking permission or validation. And who could give you permission to operate in your cultural truth? Come on now. I want you to understand what we're coming out of, right? But we have to see the reality and see that in many ways, in order for us to operate in our cultural truth, we have to have permission, or we used to have permission to operate in it. You want to celebrate? We want to celebrate Black History Week. Well, we'll give y'all a week. Thank you very much. Now we want to extend it to a month. Okay, we'll give you a month. We want to celebrate Juneteenth. Okay. See, you know what I'm saying? And then we start to wonder why some of us start fading away from the holidays we establish once it starts getting accepted by the outside world. Because for us, it's not as powerful, right? Juneteenth was at its height when we used to force the city to have to recognize, where we would rent the park and force the city to have to cooperate with us to make it happen. Juneteenth was cracking for us back then, right? Kwanzaa, when it was just a little private thing where we was doing. Now we got Kwanzaa stamps and shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Come on now. You know, they come in and some of us seek that permission, right? Some of us think it's right to seek that permission. Hell, we even go into their institutions to study our shit so that we can prove that it's worthy of their permission. But family, we're operating boldly in our cultural truth without seeking permission or validation from the others. Right? Who validates and approve the Chinese people to be able to operate in their culture? How about the Arabs? How about the Persians? Come on now. Black folks, come on now. Let's stop seeking it. Now, so, damn, I'm 20 minutes in, family. Okay, here we go. Here are the words for the day, or the haikus that I put. No is power word. Use it to build your boundaries. Make your life sacred. No is power word. Use it to build your boundaries. Make your life sacred. Surround yourself with people that respect your no, baby. Please. Please. Hold on. Here you go. What is your hurry? Slow down and choose to live life. Rushing to your death. What is your hurry? Slow down and choose to live life. Rushing to your death. Listen, with this Tai Chi practice, right? And even spinning the rope, right? You start getting a sense like the faster I try to go with the rope, the more likely I'm going to hit myself, right? So it took a second for me to start understanding that slow is smooth and smooth is fast, right? And with Tai Chi, you be in such a hurry to try to get the whole form. You're rushing to get the form done when you need to slow down. And when I'm outside, these animals out here singing for me, and the bugs are chirping, and I'm able to do the moves, and I'm able to just listen and notice what's going on around me while I'm moving, and I'm purposely slowing myself down. I'm noticing that our whole lives are rushed. We were rushed to become adults. We rushed ourselves, and other people in some cases rushed us to become adults, rushed us into the workforce, rushed us into schooling, rushed us through schooling, rushed us to where when COVID hit, some people may have died because that was the first time they ever were able to actually take a breath without rushing. In fact, some people still are getting over the shock of having a moment without rushing, right? Because we set our lives to these clocks. I got 20 minutes to work out. I got 30 minutes to meditate. I have to eat and be out the house by 7:30. I got to be at the work. Everything is rush. And if you don't want to rush, you have to get up extra early, which means you have to rush your sleep. You got to rush how you eat because you only get a certain amount of time to eat at work. I want you to think about this. Supposedly, you only got so many years to where you could actually get your education. When in fact, the human being, the older they get, the better a student they become because they start understanding their humbleness. It's hard. I want you to think about this. It's hard for a 20-year-old to be humble when I'm sitting up here looking at an old man and he can't jump to save his life. And I'm able to move and I'm able to cartwheel. I'm able to memorize stuff real quick, right? But as I got older, I became a better student because a lot of physical arrogance had wore off and I started getting more in tune with life. Really, as we get older, we should be able to take more time to start learning. Not that you can't do it, because some of us are real good. Some people was real good at it. I ran into some real good young students when I was a young student. I was okay, but I ran into some dynamic students when I was young, right? That really understood it and got it and understood that it was deeper than just being able to physically get out here and do shit, right? But anyway, slow down. What you in a hurry for? Right? Even on your job, slow down. Right? Because as soon as you finish one project, They're going to give you another one. Don't worry about it. Take your time. Finish your shit. Right? You know, like you get a timeline, push that shit to the last hour. Stop rushing. Take your time. When you're eating, take your time and eat. When you're reading a book, take your time. Enjoy the world that you are allowed to enter in the book. When you're doing, like those of you that are religious, when you are involved with your religious text, be present. See, what slowing down does, it makes you have to be present. And I think a lot of us are rushing, not just because the world tells us to rush, but I think we're rushing because we're scared to sit with ourselves. Fear of boredom is a real thing. Boredom forces you to sit with yourself. All right, but anyway, let's move. Next one. Yes is a command. I build my tribe using it. It gives permission. Yes is a command. I build my tribe using it. It gives permission. Yes is a powerful word, especially for your tribe and your family. It could be a very powerful word. Last one. Just because eyes closed does not mean I am not learning. I slept through college and high school. Oh my God. People be laughing at me at these meetings. I'll be at these meetings. I'll be out cold. And people don't realize that I could, as long as I'm fighting it. Like my son, he'll go straight to sleep in class. My daughters, they lay their head down, go straight to damn sleep. I used to have to struggle. And in struggling to fight to sleep, I'm able to learn. Now, when I just give in to sleep, I'm gone. And why I'm struggling, if you see me sitting up and my head is nodding, right? I'm struggling. I'm still able to hear. I'm still learning, right? I'm struggling, right? And that's something I got to make sure my kids, I'll be trying to let them know. Because when they tell me they falling asleep, I don't think I ever heard about Gigi falling asleep in class. With Sasha lay her damn head down and just Cleve do the same shit. Let it hit. I'm like, yeah, you got to fight. It's a superpower. You have to fight. You can learn twice as fast if you fight in the sleep. But hey, that's just that. But hey, let's get into the script. Ring that bell for me. All right. Family, I want to say great Kujichagulia to you. Here is the official haiku. Close eyes, do not sleep. Silence shields the warrior's soul. Command your own yes. Family, false sight is the primary simulation used to distract the scattered mind from true self-mastery. Somebody tap our shade if you got that one. Listen, false sight is the primary simulation used to distract the scattered mind from true self-mastery. The world around us is dense with open eyes that do not see, spectators looking at external noise, superficial conditions, and societal projections without perceiving the underlying truth of their own divine power. You're missing it, fam. Missing your own. You're missing it. Simultaneously, the world mistakes quiet contemplation, internal recalibration, and strategic rest for slumber or helplessness. But our ancestors in Chad knew a fundamental truth. Every closed eye is not seeing. Oh, my fault. Every closed eye is not sleeping. When a warrior closes their eyes, they are not asleep. They are turning inward, accessing that via negativa and pruning away the illusion of powerlessness, resetting the nervous system, and activating the inner vision. Now, those of you that was at the workshop, we talked about the proper way to have inner visions, right? Now, also, when we close our eyes and we start breathing and we consciously breathe, we start resetting our nervous system. Family, take some time every day and reset. Close your eyes and reset. It don't take that long. Reset, right? Because this world, it thrives on your confusion. It thrives on you being out of calibration, right? Because, how can I put it? They have created a false nature. They created a false world. And in order for it to work in the way it needs to work on you, you have to be in calibration with it and out of calibration with the natural world. This is why when you see people out there talking about go outside and get grounded, like take your shoes off and walk in the grass, touch a tree, take a walk out in nature, enjoy the sunlight, absorb the sunlight. Everything that they have designed for their nature, for their universe, we can even call it their dimension, is designed to remove you from what's going on in the real world. The one that was there long before they established this madness. You have to plug back in that. You have to reset and get back in tune with it. Even let's say you can't go outside because you got a project, right? That's no reason why you can't have a peaceful place, right? I could tell you mine, right? When I went to Ghana, my brother he has a beach house, right? When I go to the beach house, it has a second level where the porch is open. He got two, because there's a porch on the ground, but then there's a porch that was on the second floor that I would like to go up and sit, and it would face out to the ocean. And I could hear the ocean and sit right there and not be disturbed. I could see the people out catching the fish, right? Now, what I'm saying is all of us should have places that we could go in our minds to kind of recalibrate. I see the sand. I see the wall that separates his area from other areas, right? I could see the sand leading all the way down to the beach, right? I could see the cars parked on the sand. So you got to have these mental places where you could go. You understand what I'm saying? So that you can reset yourself. Set up your inner visions, right? And we could talk about that a little bit more in the next workshop we do. And I want to thank all those that came out for the workshop on Kuumba. I really appreciate you, right? Today, on this Gye-nyame calendar alignment for Kujichagulia, we anchor our tribe in the sacred principle of course, of self-determination, wrapped in a deep protective vibration of indigo and dark blue. Self-determination is not about adding another laborious task to your overcrowded calendar or taking on the heavy burden of proving your worth to the world designed to misname you. You heard that, right? That's Kujichagulia jab, right? Misname you. Kujichagulia is the subtractive art of defining yourself for yourself, naming yourself, creating for yourself, and speaking for yourself by first scraping off the false identities, parasitic expectation, generational noise that others have plastered onto you. This brings us to our algorithmic command today. My yes is a command and my no is a shield. When you lack Kujichagulia, your yes becomes a weak compliance code written by someone else's agenda. And your no becomes a timid plea. Think about that shit. You got to explain your no. Stop that shit. Look at people and then stop. I'm not explaining. I said no. God, you know what I'm saying? People want explanations. Like you, the fuck? I mean, really? Come on now. I know I ain't the only one that feel that, right? Oh, they be offended when you say no. Man, please. You find yourself saying yes to obligations out of blame, yes to toxic dynamics out of guilt, and yes to cultural erasure out of convenience. But when you operate as a sovereign programmer of your life, your yes carries the full force of intentional execution. a command that mobilizes energy, builds institutions, and shapes reality. And your no becomes an unbreakable shield, a sacred boundary protecting your time, spirit, and focus from parasitic demands. To stand firm in Kujichagulia means recognizing that every time you give away a cheap yes to external noise, you are stealing an intentional yes from your divine purpose. Somebody type out Shay if you got that. I ain't even going to read that again. You're going to have to rewind it to hear that. That was what explosion. I could end right there, but I won't. I can end right there, but I won't. So, y'all know I don't like to get a date, but I'm going to have to get a date on this one because it'll come back around in 11 years. No, 7 years, I think. Historical data confirms this truth on this day, August 11th, Chad Independence Day, 1960. The people of Chad claimed their independence from French colonial rule, proving that while external oppressors saw passive subjects, open eyes, not seeing, the sleeping giant of the southern freedom was wide awake inside the collective heart. They dropped the weight of foreign rule and declared their inherent right to name their own destiny. It was the birth of hip-hop culture in 1973 in a quiet Bronx recreation room at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue. DJ Kool Herc hosted a back-to-school party. Wow. Hosted a back-to-school party that birthed hip-hop. Main Street society was blind to the moment, looking at broken urban infrastructures and seeing only decay. Yet a global cultural movement was awakening in silence, defining its own language, rhythm, and truth out of nothing. Damn. 1973. I was alive then, but I wasn't at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue. In 1973, I was in kindergarten, I think. 1973, I would have been, I was starting kindergarten. I was getting ready to start kindergarten. Frederick Douglass' first public speech in 1841 as the escaped man, Frederick Douglass, gave his first address at the Nantucket Anti-Slavery Convention, turning his lived reality into an unstoppable speech of self-determination. He stripped away the false narrative that enslaved African people were voiceless. The false narrative that enslaved African people were voiceless or mindless, proving that self-determined mind could never be truly changed. Now, family, you'd be surprised how powerful your personal story is. Really. And somebody needs to hear it, right? Somebody needs to hear your story. I know people around you don't big up you and won't want to celebrate your story because, in the Bible, they say a prophet can't be a prophet at home, right? It's people around you. So they make you feel that your story is not important. But I'm here to tell you, your story is liberation power for somebody else because they see that you made it through. That means that they could do it too. You give other people permission when you share your story. In our text, including the Bible, the Warrior's Handbook for Life Journey, Old Principles for a New Millennium. I ain't finished that book either. I ain't finished the Bible either. Player's Pyramid and the Haiku by Hatim, or Freedom Within Limits. We are constantly reminded that Kujichagulia is the bedrock of personal and collective serenity. So, define self for self or be defined by others. When you look in the mirror, whose definition are you living out? Thank you, Simba. Simba heard that one. I'm going to read that one again for you. I'm going to give you that one for free, right? Define self for self or be defined by others. When you look in the mirror, whose definition are you living out? Are you operating from the scroll written by your ancestors, or are you executing the script handed to you by your oppressors, your fears, or societal conditioning? Somebody type out share if you felt that. Now, come on now. The Via Negativa approach demands that we look closely at what needs to be released today to move from negativity, blame, shame, and guilt to a life filled with peace, power, and joy. What is the buildup that the tribe needs to scrape off to reveal true Kujichagulia? 1. Scrape off the buildup of seeking external validation. You do not need a committee approval to be who the Creator made you to be. Stop asking for permission for spectators to walk in your divine authority. 2. Shed the false narratives of guilt-driven compliance. Your time, energy, and spirit are sacred resources. If an opportunity, relationship, or request does not align with your nia or build your community, raise your shield of no without explanation, hesitation, or apology. 3. Drop the weight of inherited shame and blame. Stop carrying the false labels that were slapped on your back when you were too young or too distracted to defend yourself. Like the princess with the crooked back in our ancient stories, your posture changes the moment you align your inner sight with your divine royalty. And 4, cut the noise of superficial distraction. Turn off the endless stream of trivial gossip, outrage bait, and synthetic urgency. When you close your eyes to the false simulations, you activate your true vision and reclaim your internal peace. Family, sometimes you got to step out of that internet world. Get a book. Either read a book, listen to a book. Listen to thoughts, right? Long form thoughts, all right? Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Not all the time, but you hear what I'm saying. Warrior, stop giving away your yes to distraction and stop leaving your perimeter unprotected with a no. No, without a no. Close your eyes to the false simulation, activate your inner sight, and command your reality with absolute conviction. The Griot does not ask you to do more. The elder commands you to release what is not you. Unclench your fists, drop the burdens, scrape off the buildup, and stand firm in your sovereignty. And with that, family, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say, look down in the description, click the link, go out there. You'll be able to find my ebooks, my author's page. You'll be able to find my e-course. You'll be able to find your t-shirts. You'll be able to find the Nguzo Saba narrative map, as well as be able to get in contact with me if you want to. But you know what? You know what that means, right? You are now listening to Gye-nyame Journey Radio. This is a Heart of a Symbol production. Where we strive to blow up your old paradigms.